So the first video I wanted to watch with you guys is so Rosanna Pansino put out a video a while ago. You can kind of see, let me bring you guys over to my share screen here. Okay, awesome. So you guys can kind of see over at the top here. I think you guys can see, oh no, you can't see it. But at the top of here, you can kind of see Rosanna Pansino calls out Tana Mongeau. So basically Tana had a situation when she was filming Escape the Night, the new reboot of that, which that alone is like a whole flippin' video to talk about. But she had a bad experience with a extra and talked about it on multiple podcasts, Trisha's being one of them. Trisha and Rosanna are friends. They're friends like outside of social media and the podcasts and the TV show, like outside of everything. They're friends. And Rosanna did not like the response that Trisha gave about everything. She felt that Tana was lying about a lot of different situations. And I just have like multiple feelings about this, to be quite honest with you guys. Like on one hand, I can see where Rosanna is upset, especially when it comes to when you're losing your parent. I feel like that is a very sensitive topic, no matter if it is just happened or if it happened years ago. In this case, it happened years ago. Rosanna's dad has been passed away for a couple years now, I think 2 or 3, I think. You guys can fact check me, obviously. And I feel like there is some times where it's like, maybe we just don't talk about that. Like, I feel like in Housewives world, the rule is always don't talk about the kids, which they never fucking follow. None of them do. They always talk about the kids. I'm like, God damn, stop talking about these damn kids. Like, you're not getting anywhere with this stuff. Sorry, I have to eat something. I'm going to pass out. I have not eaten anything all day. So I just realized I might be muffled. Hold on. Don't mind me like whipping out my boob here. There we go. Okay. So I kind of feel like we're in this territory of there's some things that I just feel like maybe you shouldn't joke about or shouldn't talk about. The other part of me is I'm a very sarcastic person. I'm a very dramatic person. Tana and I have a lot in common in that department. I've always been like that. I have a very dark, fucked up sense of humor. I don't always say the right things because I get like emotional. I'm an Aries, if that means anything to you. I'm an Aries and I'm very dramatic in the way that I speak. And it's always big, whatever I'm telling you, if it's the size of something, if it's the look of something, if it's where something was, it's exaggerated all the time. So I struggle. I feel bad because like I can see where Tana is speaking about certain things, but I do think that Tana, like myself, can really put her foot in her mouth. And there's just some things where it's like, oh, okay, you can tell the same story without specifically pointing out Rosanna in the story. That's one thing that I didn't like was if you want to tell the story about what happened to you, you have every right to. It's your story. You go tell it. My thing is like, you don't need to say it with me included. Like, just say that you're around a bunch of influencers, you were having a rough day, and people are trying to talk to me about stuff, and I just can't, like, I'm not in the headspace. And I finally spoke to somebody, and thank God I did. And if I came off as a angry, upset, sad, frustrated person that day to anybody involved, I'm so sorry. This is why it happened. And it was just a bad day for me. Like, you don't have to include Rosanna. And then on top of that, you also don't need, the thing is that cracks me up is like, oh, I'm not going to say this person's name. I'm not going to say this person's name. It's like, okay, you're not going to say her name, but you specifically said something that is on the internet that she specifically put out herself about smoking a marijuana joint that was created from her dad's ashes. Like, what are we talking about? But on the other hand, I will say that I take things much differently than I think Rosanna does. I wouldn't have taken as much offense as Rosanna is. I wouldn't be as upset as Rosanna is. But I also think that Rosanna is a unicorn in this space where she is not a negative human being. She is not somebody that tears people down. She has never been really somebody that's in drama, but she does randomly pop up and will speak up in certain situations. For whatever reason, she's very loyal to Joey. I don't know what the hell that's about. I don't know why she's so loyal to Joey Graceffa. It's very interesting to me. But I also think that there is I think what happens with these internet people is that they forget that you don't have to make a video. You don't have to make a video to involve all of us in your bullshit. Like, you can call Tana. You could text Tana. You could text Trisha. You could call Trisha. You could call Trisha and say, hey, do you mind having Tana come over? I'd like to have a conversation about how this really upset me. And I just really wish that like she wouldn't have gone about it this way. And if maybe she could just, she doesn't have to make a big deal out of it, but just kind of be like, you know what? I'm really sorry for what I said. I shouldn't have said that. You're right. Like I spoke about an experience that I had and I got all riled up like I normally do. And I brought up another creator, which was Rosanna. And I shouldn't have done that because she did nothing wrong there. I was just having a really bad day. And I just pointed her out of all the people to point out. And I just feel like that's what, like, I just don't think these people understand that, like, you don't actually have to give us your every thought. And you don't actually have to spread your feelings out on the internet 24/7. Like, these are things that could have been handled themselves. Because now we're here and we're all talking about it. And we don't need to be talking about it. But we're going to talk about it because I'm sitting here making a pop culture fucking YouTube channel. I mean, hello. All right, so let's do a little chit chat here. We're not going to watch this whole video because it's 22 minutes long, but I do want to watch some of it.
Trip raising money for people who have been affected by the LA fires. They were pretty tough this year, and it was just an amazing trip. It was with Drew Brees' charity. But for this
is the other thing that I don't like about online people is they always feel like they have to over explain themselves to convince their audience they're a good person. I genuinely think out of all the social media people I've ever watched, ever been around, I'm a millennial, okay? So I've seen the OG people, okay? Out of all the people, Rosanna is, I think, the most genuine, kind, nicest online person I've ever seen. Like, I don't think you can get more at the amount of out of the amount of subscribers she has and followers she has. She could be a gremlin of a human, and she's just not. And I find that to be very refreshing. And I will say, I do like this stage of her life where she feels like she does need to speak up for herself more, and she does need to let a lot of things go. She needs to, but I think what ends up happening is when you're an internet person and you come out on the internet and you start talking about this stuff and you're in the right. Like, Rosanna is in the right when it came to the Mr. Beast shit. She was 1000% in the right. Never having the experience of having the internet love you for speaking your truth like that, okay? And then you speak your truth, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, maybe I want to speak my truth all the time. Maybe I want to be a truth seeker, okay? Maybe I want to be the truth girly girl, okay? And you start realizing, like, maybe we shouldn't be speaking the truth on everything. We get a little excited, okay? That's the thing I feel like about Rosanna right now is I feel like she's getting a little too excited about being like the truth girl, that she wants to make everything the truth. Sorry, I'm just checking my live. And cool. I just want to make sure it's still working. And so that's the problem I feel like with Rosanna is Rosanna's now like, oh, I've spoken my truth about Mr. Beast. Well, now I have to talk about everything. It's like, no, girl, you don't have to talk about everything. You actually don't have to talk about all of this stuff. It doesn't have to happen all the time. Okay. So I think Rosanna's going to slowly start realizing how much she should and should not be talking about. I think Rosanna is going to find that balance eventually of like, these are things that I can I can speak about and have conversations about. And these are things that I don't need to have everybody and their mother know about me. I can just talk to the people involved and we can all move on with our lives, you know? Um, I just don't like it when people start videos, especially social media people start videos with like, hey, I'm a really good person. I did a charity. I did a thing. It's like, that has nothing to do with the conversation. That literally does not have anything to do with what we're here to watch the video about. That's not a thing. Like, so why are we talking about where you were when it's not relevant to the story that's being told on the internet right now? The Drew Brees Foundation fixing this and looking at that in LA fires, like, I love that. And I think that's amazing. I think that's wonderful. I don't like it when celebrities do that though. I want celebrities to come and I want influencers to come on the television and be raw and real. No matter what happens, you are always going to have haters, okay? Sorry, gotta crack my neck. No matter what, these people are gonna have haters. That's never gonna change, okay? But when you come on and you're just from the jump, let's get into it, let's talk about it, let's hash it out, let's keep it black and white, okay? But it's like, hey guys, I was out doing charity work and like fixing people's lives and being a good person. And I just want you to know that before I tell you all my feelings about stuff that I put out on the internet and I did with myself. Like that part I'm not a fan of. And that's no hate to Rosanna because I actually think Rosanna has good intentions. It's just in general, I feel like from like, again, from like a PR standpoint, there's no reason for it. But that's just me.
Episode, it's just going to be me. It's cozy. We're sitting in the chairs today, drinking tea, and I'm hanging out with the dogs. So for everyone listening to this podcast, if you hear snoring, it's just my bulldogs. I just really wanted to talk about some things that have been going on. I think it's important to start with this. I believe Tana when she said that a guy said something inappropriate to her on set, like he sexually harassed her on the set of Escape the Night. When she told me on set, I fully had her back and I said, I'm so sorry that happened to you and you should tell Joey. What he said to Tana was wrong, and him waiting.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Hold on. Let's pull this up. Hold on. I want to. That's not it. Let's see. Okay, so if we go to this video,
Hey, little rebels, welcome back to
there is a part.
Weekend at a late call time of 9 a.m. I'll say if I have the call sheet while you.
Okay. Stay in school, kids.
Paige is going to chime in with an absolute banger.
Are you ready, guys? Now, Paige calls me a cannibal.
That okay, the cannibal comment, I'm like, Rosanna, listen. At some point, it's so hard, you guys. It's so hard because like if you guys are watching the three of them talk about this, it's just three women sitting in their room talking about gossip and tea on the internet, like any other group of girlfriends are doing. Okay. It's sarcasm. The problem with sarcasm is that it's not always funny. Sarcasm is not always taken in the context that you are giving it out to. And that's the problem. Is as somebody who's very sarcastic, I have to constantly remind myself that not everybody is comfortable with that way of talking. Because I don't even want to call sarcasm a sense of humor, because I just feel like that's not fair. But there are people that are just like, oh no, you can't say that about me, or no, that's not okay that you said that. And you kind of have to like read the room. And when I was watching the three of them talk about it, was I like, okay, drama, like chill out. But also was I like, I don't think that they actually think Rosanna is a cannibal. Like, can we just be fucking for real right now? Like, no one thinks Rosanna Pansino is an actual cannibal. And Rosanna in her like a I don't even want to call it an apology video, but let's call it that for just continuity or whatever. In that video, she talked about how there's another group of guys that do like a sports talk show, and they're talking about her being a cannibal. But that they're doing it like these three stupid ass sports straight white bros that absolutely know nothing, probably fucking have never played a sport professionally a day in their goddamn lives. Okay. Probably play recreational sports and think they're the hero, think they're LeBron James, and they can barely fucking dribble a basketball in between their legs. Like, they're being serious. Like, they're being assholes because they hate women. Okay. These three girls, whether you like them or not, this is how they always are. They're always super sarcastic. They're always dramatic. It's one of those things where it's like, we got to stop acting like this is what these girls really think. Now, if you want to call out how I just found that to be like, again, why can't you say something to the effect of like, I understand that like they know, obviously I'm not a cannibal. They know that it's not a crime. Okay. And I know that they think that they're being funny and then that they're joking. But for me, it's just one of those things where like, this is my dad. This was rough. The other thing that I want to point out about Rosanna also, just to like put it out there, is that her first ever episode, let's see, her first ever episode, okay, smoking my dead dad. She put smoking my dead dad. So to me, what reaction do you think you were going to get with that title? Like, there were other ways that you could have worded that, but you're inviting people to think that don't actually know Rosanna and know her story and know her dad. You're inviting them to think that that's a real thing. Why? Because our country is a bunch of fucking wackos and a bunch of idiots that actually think that she's going to do that. Because there are psychos out there that would really do that. Okay? Like, have you been on Reddit? Like, there are real people that would do that. That's the thing that I'm like, girl, you also have to read the room. Like, do Tana and Brooke and all them have to read the room of like, come on, don't be assholes? Yes, for sure. But you need to read the room too. You titling your video "Smoking My Dead Dad," what are people supposed to think? What are people supposed to take from that? And I'm not talking about people that know Rosanna. I'm talking about people that don't know her on the internet. Like, what are people supposed to think about that? When there are literal wackos. I think half of Florida probably would smoke their own dad. Just kidding, guys. Don't hate me, Floridians.
Hey, little rebels. Welcome back to
Lifesaver.
Let me see if I
She
can
doesn't like
find
their age,
this.
doesn't like where they live from, doesn't like their looks. Is there anything she likes? Or a lie?
I got permission to play a video, and I'm going to play it in this video, and it's basically going to clock the lies, and I really want you guys to see these chains, like me, whose body temperature.
What do you mean? Okay.
And
This is another thing that I don't like about influencers. And again, this isn't like necessarily like a shot at Rosanna. This is just in general things that I don't fucking like. Is I do not like videos that are about stuff like this, where you're pointing something out that you're trying to have everybody take seriously. You're trying to have a very serious conversation. Okay. You're trying to overanalyze the situation, whatever. Same with her other video. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought I saw an ad in it. I don't like that you're putting ads in here. Save it for another episode. Save it for another podcast day. Why are you making a video with ads in it when you want people to take your ass seriously? I don't understand. I will never, ever grasp that. When you're having a serious conversation that's about you, you're not talking about like things going on in the world. Like, you have people that do like true crime videos. It's like, no, you're talking about like, that's the topic of your show, of your channel, is like this. But when you're talking about something that's about you specifically and drama with you, and you want people to take you seriously and you're putting ads in your video, I can't stand that. Again, this is just like a PR brain like switch that I put on when I watch things that for me are telltale signs of like, how am I supposed to take you seriously? When at the beginning of your video, you're trying to talk yourself up about you're a good person. When we're watching the video, you have 2 or 3 fucking ads in it. Like, I don't understand that. And I'm never going to understand that. And if you guys hear me swearing, I'm not this aggressive person. This is just the way I talk. I apologize. So if that's offensive to you, I'm so sorry. I'm a sailor. Okay. I'm a swearer. I don't know what to tell you. So I just want to warn people there. It has nothing to do with like my anger or frustration. But like, what are you like, how am I supposed to take you seriously when in the middle of these videos, you're all of a sudden talking about sheets and blankets and you're all of a sudden talking about marijuana drink. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to take you seriously. And again, it's not necessarily a shot at Rosanna because she's not the only one that does this. A lot of people do. For me, I think that it should be more common to not do that. Just don't do that. If you're talking about yourself and you're trying to make people feel serious about you, just so we know.
A very, very old, unoperational,
I guess, yeah, no
previously
cold air,
used freezer, and now is a studio. Work on that.
It is just really hard.
Is gross, and I don't know how I feel now. I feel very confused. I feel very conflicted. And
the other thing I don't like is there's just a lot of things that I don't like from a PR standpoint. And I know like we're not really watching videos right now, but these are just like some things that really bother me about this. It's like, and again, it's just a PR thing. It's just a marketing PR thing. If you're trying to have your audience and the group of you take you seriously about a topic that you're saying means a lot to you and you're saying you're passionate about, number one, why are you taking out time from your experience, whether that is your vacation, whether that is what you're saying you were doing, you were helping somebody with, the Drew Brees Foundation or whatever. Okay. Why are you taking time out of your life? Do you guys understand that like it takes time to actively choose one to bring microphones and a laptop with you? Okay. So it's like, oh, we just have like a rinky-dink little setup. It's like, no, you clearly were planning something, if not this, which that could be a true thing. You were planning something involving microphones. Like you're fucking on vacation. You're doing whatever the hell you're doing. You clearly were bringing microphones with you. So there was an intention to do something with those items, whether that was to talk about Tana or not. It could just be literally her podcast. She's like already was going to do a podcast anyway. Number two, optics wise, I don't like her wearing a towel on her head. I don't like her wearing a robe. It doesn't give off like I care or I'm taking myself seriously. I think just wearing like a t-shirt and some, like, honestly, this outfit right here, that's fine. I'm fine with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. You don't need to wear like a lawyer's suit or anything, but like, can we look like we're professional and like we care? This doesn't look like I care about what I'm talking about. And I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that's helping her in this situation. Like that's another thing that really, really bothers me. Also, in this video, there are multiple times where Rosanna and her boyfriend are very rude, and are making fun of Tana and her friends. And it doesn't make me want to take you seriously. It makes me feel like you're being a mean girl. And I don't think Rosanna is a mean girl, which is what cracks me up. When I was watching this video, I was like, what's going on? Like, she's giving me anxiety watching her because number one, why are we like basically turning ourselves into a private investigator? This video has gone off the fucking rails, you guys. I did not plan on talking about half of the stuff we're talking about, but I have to, because like I watch this stuff and these are the thoughts that are in my ADHD brain when I'm watching this shit. Okay. I don't understand why it turned into an investigation. And what ended up happening is what I knew 1000% in my heart was going to happen. People were going to make it look like Rosanna basically thinks that Tana made up the sexual assault situation from this guy. That's what people are going to think because that's the context you put it into. And it's like, why are you the mouthpiece for Joey? This isn't your show. This isn't your production. This is not your project. This is a project you're involved in, obviously, but this is not your project. Why is Joey never speaking out and about or up for any of his friends on public platforms? Why is that never happening? Why is Rosanna not going, hey, Joey, this is like really upsetting, kind of disturbing. And like, I don't think that like she should be talking out loud about our crew like that, about the production like that. Like, I think that's not okay. Like, you should want to, and I'm sure Joey is very much like, not my chair, not my problem. Like, I'm not wasting my breath on Tana, basically, is the vibe that I get from him. And I just don't understand why Rosanna is going to be essentially like thrown under the bus instead of Joey. Like Joey already did though. That's the other thing that's really weird is like Joey already went and talked to Tana about this and it was done and over with and solved. And now Rosanna wants to stick her opinion into it. And it's like, girl, your part of this situation is this tiny. Your part of the situation is this small, but you're making it this big. Why can you not just call Tana or text her or have somebody get her number for you to have that conversation that you clearly need to have very badly? Why can't you do that? Again, why is Joey not facilitating this type of conversation? It's like, no, it has to be put on the internet. It has to have a video made. We have to talk about it. We have to have people know about my personal life. What is that about? What is that about, you guys?
And eventually, I'm freed.
Information she gave him.
He's whatever.
All right, hold on.
I'm freezing. My phone's on. I'm tapped out.
I like that she's saying something that's bad is that she almost fell. She didn't fall. She almost fell.
I almost walked into an inanimate object. And maybe you could be more self-aware if you had slept.
And on another fellow influencer. Okay? I have my...
Why is it your business on what Tana does and doesn't do with her life? You think Tana's the only one that doesn't get up on time, that fucking takes forever to get ready, that stays up late, has insomnia? Like, that's the other thing is like, love or hate Tana, Tana has repeatedly spoken about how she has insomnia. I hope I'm right on this because I'm pretty sure I've heard her talk about this many, many times where she hardly ever sleeps. So there was nobody else on this crew that was making bad choices, that was doing stupid shit, that maybe stayed up a little too late, that wasn't ready on. Like, I know so many influencers that I love. Okay. Influencers that I love. Drew Afwalo. Okay. I love Drew Afwalo so fucking much. She is probably like my top 5 favorite influencers of my entire life. Like, I'm not even joking you. I have never seen a creator like her before, like Brittany Broski before, where it's just like this all encompassing, like, wonderfulness to watch on a daily basis. Okay. Drew admits all the time that she's late for everything. Everything. Do you think anybody's bitching and complaining about Drew Afwalo being late for anything? Do you think Rosanna Pansino would be bitching and complaining about Drew Afwalo showing late for something? No. The only people that are doing that are assholes, okay? Basically, people that look like me. White people. Stupid-ass white people. Speaking of stupid-ass white people, they're the ones that would be bitching and complaining. But you don't think Rosanna Pansino would be talking about that, even though Drew says all the time on her platform, out of her mouth, that she's late for everything, okay? That she is bad at timing, okay? But it's like, at some point, and I say this all the time about Tana, and some days I'm wrong when I say it, some days I'm right when I say it, okay? Some days I fluctuate with Tana a lot. There's some days where I'm like, Tana is an icon and a legend, and other days I'm like, she's such a dumbass. I cannot believe she's behaving this way again. But at some point, we really do have to leave the girl alone. Like, at some point, we genuinely have to leave the bitch alone. There's no point. Like, we have to stop. Some creators on here want to parent Tana so badly. And I see a lot of other creators that just don't interact with her. It's that simple. Just don't interact with her. Don't engage. Don't be a part of her friend group. When you see her in public, just be kind. Don't just disengage, girl. Like, we don't have to be in this person's sphere. It's like you're magnetized to her and you have to parent her. And like, that's what I'm watching. It's like mom and dad are going to tell her what to do. You better show up on time. Maybe if you slept in, it's like, we're not all you. Not everybody lives that life. Okay. Like, as someone who has ADHD and anxiety, girl, some days I'm up, ready to rock and roll, fresh as a fucking daisy. Other days I feel like I'm dying, like, for no reason. The judgment, the over analyzing judgment from these two is weird.
Hand on her shoulder, and now she's about to get taken away as well by one of these horror actors, right? And I have my hand on her shoulder, and the same guy who came up to me and like said all of that, like, he's still, mind you, he's still on set, he's still like doing his thing, he's whatever.
He's still on set because she didn't tell Joey what he said. All she told him was that he said something weird to her, and he said, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. What do you feel comfortable with? And she said she felt comfortable to shoot this. She'd do one more scene. So Joey's did the best he can with what little information she gave him.
He's whatever.
But we also don't victim shame. That's the other thing. This is why, like, this is a micro thing. Obviously, this is not a macro situation. What I'm about to say, this is very generalized. Obviously, it's very minute, very tiny. But making videos like this and saying things like this and putting out shit like this is why victims of bigger circumstances don't come out, because they see this micro stuff. They see this judgment. They see this over analyzing of the situation. And then people who actually get into these situations, which a lot of people are in situations like this, smaller environments, smaller situations, not these big, huge, like, not fucking P. Diddy type of shit, okay? We're talking about little tiny things like this that mean a lot to people. You're going to stop people from coming out and speaking on this shit when they see the nicest woman on the internet complaining about how someone walked through their trauma. And it's like, oh, well, they like, did you guys ever think about, and again, this is like outside of Tana also too, is like just in general, did you ever think that maybe she didn't want to stop production, make a scene about it? She was uncomfortable. She was scared. She was nervous. She wasn't sure how to handle the situation. She just went through this. So her mind is a little off, doesn't really understand, like, should I stop production? Should I not do this scene? What should I be doing? Like, it's not just me it's not just me that this affects. This affects the crew. This affects Joey. This is like, that's money also that it affects, like time and money and things like that. It's like, why don't we think about any of these things? It's so weird to me. It's so weird to me.
Comes up to grab this other influencer away, and I have my hand on her shoulder, okay? And he's wearing these like big, like mitts, like prosthetic. It's not like human hands, you know what I mean? And he slams his fucking hand hard as fuck on her shoulder, and my hand is on her shoulder, and my pinky inverts. My pinky inverts, okay? Mind you, everyone is screaming because like someone's getting taken away. So now I'm like, like at the top of my lungs because he just broke my pinky. The same man who literally assaulted me in a freezer just broke my pinky, and no one even knows I'm in pain because like everyone else, everyone is screaming. Everyone thinks that, bitch, put that on my IMDb, okay? Breaks my...
It escalates so quickly.
It does. She really goes far. So she said that he broke her pinky. I do not believe that he broke her pinky. I think he sprained it. And she said a week later it felt fine.
And then now what this guy did is she has now upgraded it to assault.
Just broke my pinky, and no one...
You guys, there is so much going on in the world right now. And I hate to be this person. I really fucking hate to be this person. There is so much horrible things happening in the world right now. So many people that are actually causing actual harm to people's psyches and minds. This is not it. Just like, this is just not, like, Mr. Beast, that's a perfect person to just flame, okay, every single day of the week. Him and his little motley crew are the perfect people to call out every single mother effing day. They are the perfect group of people to call out. This is not it. This is not, like, also, like, woman, like, this feels like woman on woman crime. Like, what are we doing?
Even knows I'm in pain because like everyone
That's
else,
because
everyone
that's what you're
thinks you're,
supposed to be
everyone
doing.
is screaming, everyone thinks that. Bitch, put that on my IMDb, okay? Breaks my, and now
I bet it was believable as fuck. I bet you ate in that scene.
girl, I can't even believe, like, my pinky's just now fine. It's like been a week. I like was in a 10 out of 10 of pain, like still had more shit to shoot.
But I will say that I do not think she broke her pinky. And if I'm wrong, Tana, upload that X-ray. Upload that.
We're not uploading an X-ray, Rosanna, for a pinky. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Okay? What are we doing? We got to find the chain part though.
Plants filter themselves. Like, this is biology 101. Like, just stay in school, kids.
Why are we doing a biology lesson? Shut up. Stop it.
Flight of stairs.
Yeah, if you walk up one flight, it goes up. And I just want to remind everyone, on all the sets that I've been on, you're not supposed to have your phone on set. On NCIS, they did not allow me to have my phone on set when we were.
Let's not compare NCIS to Escape the Night. That was like it's not even a real production. Like, YouTube's not even backing it this time. This is all Joey. Let's not act like this is a professional, like a super professional, I would love to know the background of this set too. Like, is there unionized workers on there? Are they protected? Are they being paid appropriately, taken care of appropriately? Like, stop.
And Ro was like,
Yeah.
let the other cast pick whatever they want.
Yeah.
I'll either
Because
take
I'm
what's
so
left.
chill, I don't care.
Yeah, she'll either take what's left or make her own outfit. We ended up making her own, and that's how flexible it is.
Like one in every like 30 set days that I have, you walk in and the production company is all men from like the rickets of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Okay.
That statement is just a lie. The production company was not all male. There was tons of females, and like I don't understand if Tana has like female blindness, like she can't see
Maybe.
women. I don't. She
remember
just sees the dudes.
When
I
we
don't.
first walked in, there was like 4 women. They were like,
This is another thing I didn't like about this video. We're not going to die on the man hill. Like, oh, I hate when people say, I think they make a comment in here like, I hate when they say that like all men are bad. All men aren't bad. Stop it right now. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not in this climate, not in my house.
some of the first people I saw.
She doesn't think is good enough. Then you're from the rickets.
Yeah, which I don't even know if she's using that word right. I'm gonna look it up.
I don't. I have no idea what it even means, but it sounds insulting.
It's
and
a makeup
belittling.
word. It's like a makeup word. Like,
degrading.
stop.
So the term rickets is a disease of children caused by vitamin D.
Oh my God, shut up.
It's not.
Sorry,
I've never
that's
been on a
rude.
set that's just all men. If it's like a real production,
So
I feel like she's just making that up. If it's a production of 3 people, maybe it'll be all men. But any real production, if it's like
it's
30,
also
40
like
people,
we're not there. It's not Tinder. Like we're not there to date the guys.
we're not there to
Like,
judge people where they're from or what they look like.
We're not there to judge people, where they're from or what they look like. Girl.
Like, grow up. It was next to Tana when she talked to several crew members several times. It was completely normal interactions. So just based on what I saw in person with my own eyes, it already proves, in my opinion, that she is either exaggerating or just lying. And that's not to say when we get to the other actor, what he said, it's not to say that that's didn't happen. But here she's literally saying every interaction with every person on the crew was weird. That's just not true. If you feel like every interaction was weird with every single person, maybe it's not them.
here we go. Let's hear some more.
Not asking me. He's all up in my guts. He's like very weird, like heavy breathing, like complimenting me. Like I do appreciate a compliment, but it's like weird when you're underground in a
Yeah.
basement.
I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but he wasn't heavy breathing because he thought Tana was hot and he was into her and he's like being creepy and slimy. He was heavy breathing because he was overweight and he was busting his ass. He was running up and down the stairs all day, working so hard. He was so kind and he was out of breath because he was working his ass off.
Yeah.
He was working way harder than her.
So she doesn't like where they are from. She doesn't like that he was breathing heavier than she would like.
She says something mean or he's ugly. Oh, wait, there's some more complaints.
I have a feeling that I have a feeling that Rosanna's friends with a lot of the people on the set, like the production company people. It's giving that vibe. Like, this is a nothing sandwich, and I'm not really sure why Rosanna chose to make it something bigger than it is.
Plates.
You look so beautiful today, Tana. And they look like a fucking gremlin. And you're like, my phone's on SOS. And like, it's just.
Yeah, time and place.
She complains that he compliments her, which he complimented everyone. I did not pick.
Some women don't like to be complimented by men because they have a history of being spoken to by men in not positive ways. Not all of us have a boyfriend that is kind, loyal, and special to us. Some people have horrible experiences with men, and every interaction with a man is uncomfortable. That's actually a thing. I avoid men like the plague. So just putting that out there.
Pick up that he was saying it in a creepy or hitting on you way at all. I think he was just giving kind compliments, and that's how it came across to me.
Well,
she
talk
just
about
thinks
your
that
look.
everyone is obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Like, it's something upstairs where she's like, he was heavy breathing on me. And
I don't necessarily think Tana thinks everybody's obsessed with her. I think Tana has been through a lot of trauma, and I feel like, especially with men, and living in Hollywood and living the life that she's lived at the young age that she is. And I think sometimes what ends up happening is that it molds your brain a certain way. And so you see the world a different way. And I would think that Rosanna saying, what she's dealt with in her life, that she would understand that. Now, do I think that it is your job, though, to take the trauma that you've been through and make something out of it so that way you don't have these horrible feelings and interactions on a daily basis? Yeah, I do think you need to grow from your situations in order to become a better person, not just for like the world around you, but for yourself. Like, who wants to sit in misery all the fucking time? That being said, I'm not someone that's been through trauma. I've been through sad times, horrible times, drama, but I wouldn't say I've ever been through like trauma. So I can only speak so much on that, but
hitting on me, and I'm like, he was heavy breathing because he was running around all day.
And I saw him mic a lot of people, and he was very respectful. Again, I didn't see every single mic.
I feel bad for him.
Talent. But again, saying that every interaction was weird, that's just not true. Like, I saw him mic her at one time, and it was fine. It was nothing. Yeah. So I don't know why she needs to now insult his looks. She doesn't like their age, doesn't like where they live from, doesn't like their looks. Is there anything she likes?
She doesn't like getting a compliment.
Yeah, I can't do that.
What I'm picking.
Some women don't want to be complimented by men. Some women just don't want to be complimented by men. Because usually the interactions that we have as women with men complimenting us is inappropriate, is rude, is creepy, is odd, is gross. So sometimes people just don't want to be complimented by men. Like, and again, I'm not saying that Tana's telling the truth. I'm not saying that Tana's lying. I'm saying, like, I'm just trying to like put out the breadcrumbs of like, again, this is not the hill that Rosanna should have been standing on. This is not the content that she should have been putting out today. Like, this was a nothing sandwich that she inserted herself into and did a private investigation. Like, she watched this video and has clearly analyzed everything that was going on, which is fucking hilarious considering that's literally what I'm doing right now. But
Picking up is that like anything you do is wrong. Unless you're a hot dude, then you can do no wrong. You can do whatever you want. That's not a healthy mindset.
And
I don't think that's true either, because Tana's called out some very good looking guys that are pieces of shit. Just saying. She's called out good looking guys, bad looking guys. Also, have you seen the guys she's dated? Have you seen the guys she's dated? She's dated some ugly bitches. They're not all Makoa.
so eventually I have a little side quest, okay? I'm solo from everyone else that I'm filming with, right? And I'm already just like 4 hours into this and like...
Big work day. 4 hours.
4 hours into
4
my
hours.
shift, and I am dead.
I'm beat.
It has nothing to do with the fact that I only got 2 hours of sleep. It's because of this crazy situation where I had to work for 4 hours.
It is not the set's fault that you didn't sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. She was just in a bad mood all day.
The whole thing of like what is being made is also very much not like things that I'm normally doing. Like I'm screaming and I'm running and I'm like physically exerting myself in so many ways that I normally like wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And so I'm just dead. And
she's doing things she wouldn't normally do. No, normally you don't film Escape the Night every day.
Yeah.
And she knows exactly what Escape the Night is like because she's been in 2 previous seasons. And not only been in 2 previous seasons, but she knows that those were a lot more time demanding,
And
like
the
vampire
challenges
hours.
and all that were way crazier.
Way harder.
Way
These
crazier.
were easy mode. These were cakewalk. It's just a lot of exaggerating.
finally, I have a little like side quest, right? And so along with the hired production crew, there's hired actors, right? And all of these hired actors are wearing masks, like scary, like horror nights, like horror actors almost, right? And so I have this little side quest with one of these horror actors.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Let's get out of this part though. Like, this wasn't even the point of this video, you guys.
Until she was alone to say it is very telling that he knew that what he was doing was wrong. I'm proud of Tana for speaking up. She told me, she told Joey later that day on set, like, no one deserves to be treated like that, especially on set. Everyone deserves to feel safe in a working environment.
For me, that's not what this is doing though. Like, you're not giving, in that last video that we overwatched and didn't need to overwatch, it does not give any vibe that that is how you feel at all. It feels like you are judging her the entire time. It feels like everything that came out of your mouth, everything came out of her mouth, you had comment about. You overanalyzed the situation that didn't need to be overanalyzed. You sat there and called out every single lie like it was that big of a deal. Go back to Mr. Beast. Go back to a man that is ruining people's lives, that is harming people, that is doing allegedly illegal work. Okay. Go look at Logan Paul. Like, these are the people that need to be taken down off the internet. These are the people that need to be held accountable. Okay. That when she went after Mr. Beast, I was so proud of her because I was like, thank you. Finally, somebody has a light bulb. Okay. That has a big ass platform too. That is like, oh, no, we've all been missing the point here. Like, Mr. Beast is no. Hello, where have you all been? Like, duh. And for her to do that, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, let's take down the big, scary men. Like, let's stop as women poking at each other and finding different things about each other. Stop. Just stop. Like, even right now, like me talking about this, I'm like, I'm part of the problem, it feels like. Like, we have to stop with this. Like, you are, in my opinion, I think Rosanna is taken very seriously overall because she has a very amazing work ethic. She's very smart. She's very talented. She's very kind. She's very sweet. And these are like, there's no need for that. There's no need for this. Like, let's go back to finding people like Mr. Beast and looking into this stuff and taking people like this down. Let's take these people down. Let's not waste our time on Tana. Tana's a never-ending topic. Like, let's be for fucking real, please. Tana is a never-ending topic. So, like, she'll always be there to complain about. Don't you worry about her. Like, you'll trust me. There'll be another day where you can complain about Tana. Okay, but this is like, we have too many people in this world that we should be complaining about and exposing and getting in the weeds on every single thing that they do. And Tana's just not that person. Like, I'm just like, girl, go back to the Mr. Beast of it all. Please. Kate Vlog says, period.
Fully support her for calling out his disgusting behavior. On my previous podcast, I said that I continue to choose to support her, even though she's mocked me. Unfortunately,
you continue to support her, but made an entire video mocking her right back. So she mocked you and you didn't like that. And you thought, let me make an entire video of just completely shitting on her for however long that video was. That doesn't make any, you're not being productive. Like, that's the other thing is like, there's no productivity happening in this conversation. You're just adding another layer of garbage to the conversation. And I don't like that. I don't like the way she approached this. I feel like there's just so many other ways she could have approached this. And again, I can't emphasize enough, like over and over again, like this was a nothing sandwich that could have been an adult conversation behind closed doors. But instead it's been a conversation out loud. I like where is your point? Yeah. Like, I don't understand the point of this conversation at all. This is a conversation that grown ass women should be having behind closed doors, fixing it in private and moving on. Also, why, and I can't emphasize this enough, why in the actual F is Joey Graceffa not involved in any of this shit? It's his production. It's his show. He's the one being a part of this bullshit. Okay? He's the one that was besties with Colleen Ballinger. And don't sit there and tell me that there was no way in fucking hell that he was not involved in any way, shape, or form with anything that she was doing, in the sense of, oh, I didn't know any of that, or, oh, I never sat with her and tee-hee-heed and giggled about people and talked shit behind people's backs. Give me a break. Give me a break. Do I believe that Rosanna did not ever sit and watch videos about Trisha or gossip about people? Yeah, I do believe that, because I genuinely in my heart and soul just don't think Rosanna is a bad person. Like, as an overall, does she have flaws? Does she make bad choices? Yeah, clearly she makes bad choices. Okay. But I don't think we're working on that level. Like, right. I don't know why she felt the need to make it public. Everyone ignores Joey, flips me out. Oh, Joey and Daniel drive me absolute, like, mentally unhinged insane. They drive me so crazy because they get to just not have to deal with anything. And everybody else around them is chirping away. But they don't have to deal with any of it, especially Joey. Everybody else gets knocked over, has to deal with things, stand up for people. Like, you would think that Rosanna is a producer on Escape the Night, the way that she defends Joey's production all the fucking time. Like, it makes me feel like Rosanna is somehow financially involved in this production, because I just don't understand the two out of the three times that Rosanna has spoken up on the internet, two of them had to do with Escape the Night. I just find that to be very interesting. I stand by that I allegedly, possibly, maybe in Minecraft think that she is somehow either friends with people on the production, which I think she said that she's friends with some of the people that were on there, or that she has some type of financial stake in this, because I just don't get it. But again, I'm probably wrong, and that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Fortunately, I know firsthand how scary it can be to be sexually harassed on set. I've been in those positions, and I'm sorry that if my criticism about other things that Tana said overshadowed that fact.
It did. The entire video overshadowed that fact. And the stuff that you were overshadowing with were not enough to make a full video about. Like, goddamn, it has to be like Joey viewing us as him reading to children. He thinks because he shows the pictures, it blocks his words he is saying. He's just, Joey drives me nuts. I stopped following Joey like a couple years ago because I was like, I can't. Like, I've never seen somebody just let everybody else speak for them before. It's crazy. I don't think Joey needs to be in everybody's mess, obviously, and everybody's bullshit. I definitely don't think that. I think that adds a bunch of crap. But when you are actually directly involved and it's directly doing with your project, okay, and it was a crowd-funded project that your fans put the money into, you kind of should probably say something and put some stuff out. And when he was on Trisha Paytas' podcast, it was also a nothing sandwich, as per fucking usual. Everything is so vague. It's like, you have Joey Graceffa on your podcast and you're just not going to full-blown outright have a full-on in-depth conversation about Colleen Ballinger. We're not going to have any conversation. We're not going to have a full-out conversation. He was on Rosanna's podcast. Same thing. Why the two of you aren't going to have a conversation, a very deep and honest conversation about Colleen Ballinger, two of her best fucking friends on the internet? I can't. I can't. All right, that's all I have to say about that. I mean, there's nothing else to say. It's a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger that I sat and talked about for 58 minutes. Duh.